no-stopping lineup, including CoEnzyme Q10, which is another thing that Andrew brought to the United States. You talk about helping to support our immune system, helping to support our energy levels. CoQ10, like Essential One, is something I take every single day. And Andrew, since you started on that journey, CoQ10 has gone on to be one of the most purchased supplements in America today.
It's like several ingredients, just as we have. In 1979, we introduced glucosamine and chondroitin. In 1984, we introduced CoQ10. In I think it was 1996 or 97, we introduced diosmin. There are several ingredients that we introduced before anyone else in America. And again, CoQ10 is one of those funny examples that other companies dismissed it as a silly ingredient that shouldn't be in a supplement. That's just because they didn't have it. If you knew anything or know anything about the science of our body and how our body works, you'd understand that our body can't produce energy without CoQ10 doing the work of transporting the electrons that is the energy we experience. So, of course, decades later, I introduced this in 1984. That's 40 years ago, 41 years ago now, that you fast forward 41 years later, you can't find a supplement company that won't have CoQ10 part of their line. Even you'll see it in standard products. So when you see supermarkets making products, you'll see CoQ10. So again, it's something that went from being just our well-kept secret to now it's everywhere, but no one does it as well as we do. And the reviews speak volumes about that. They're virtually perfect.
I'm going to read 2 or 3 of them right now. There's, again, so many to go to select from, nearly 4,000 5-star reviews. I know that Jan says it's fabulous and you will love it. In the past, I had taken CoEnzyme Q10. It really made a huge difference. Then I stopped taking so many supplements due to the cost. It was not a good savings. As soon as I started taking good vitamin supplements again, I feel so much better, more alert and healthy again. I'm 75 years old and I'm always told I look like I'm 60. Not just the skin, it's the overall energy and image of health and well-being. CoEnzyme Q10 seems to make everything work better. It will, and I'll always continue it. Andrew, isn't that the case though? You know, on the outside, sure, we want to look youthful perhaps, but it's also about our energy. It's about the way we position ourselves and how we can move throughout the day.
Yeah, and to underscore the importance of CoQ10, most people don't even notice it, and I didn't even mention it when we talked about Essential One. Essential One has roughly 10 milligrams of each of the B vitamins. It also has 10 milligrams of CoQ10. The reason why is I look at CoQ10, and I've said this for 41 years, as being the most important B vitamin in the world. The only reason it's not technically a B vitamin is because your body can make a small amount of it. Yeah. And the technical definition of a vitamin is your body can't make any of it. So again, when we look at CoQ10, it is so essential. I wouldn't dream of going a day without it. It's especially if you take any medications, if you take drugs to lower cholesterol like statin drugs, those drugs will lower your levels of CoQ10. Absolutely. Just as well as they lower your cholesterol, they lower your CoQ10 levels. It's inescapable, unavoidable. If you take antidepressants, if you take beta blockers for, say, hypertension, high blood pressure, there are very few drugs that don't have an unfavorable impact on CoQ10 levels. There's very few behaviors, stress, poor diet, alcohol consumption, smoking, that doesn't have an adverse impact on CoQ10. Why? Because CoQ10 is utilized by your body to protect itself from the challenges we have. Because energy is that protection. Whatever we're doing on our own behalf to protect ourselves, we need to fuel that process. And energy is essential for it. And CoQ10 plays a dual role, both in terms of energy production, but also in terms of antioxidant protection. So it really, I've said this in 1984. As much as most other companies tout the latest and greatest ingredient, folks will tout sulforaphane from broccoli. We've talked about that for decades. It just underscores how important cruciferous vegetables are. Or they might talk about alpha lipoic acid, incredibly important. NAD is the latest craze now, or nicotinamide riboside. Nothing that I make in terms of adding it to your multivitamin is more important than adding CoQ10.
If you feel tired every day, if you have low energy, if you don't have that zest for life like perhaps you once did, you really should try it. I often say it's my secret as to how I keep the energy all day, every day on air for 3 hours a day, but it is a remarkable product. And again, all of Andrew's products are important and they all have a reason for being, but make no mistake, when you look at CoEnzyme Q10, it is in a league of its own. You're taking something that is just beloved. I want to show you the pricing because for the New Year's savings, again, it's coming to an end and I want you to save as much money as I can save you. 4,000 sold now. New Year's pricing ending on the 30, 60, 180 or 360 capsules. That's where the pricing is going. Still very good value for money. But if you're able to order it right now during the final show of January, again, you can save a really substantial amount and get free shipping and flex pay. And Andrew, I do think this is one of those, like the reviewers say, where you actually get to feel the difference, so you'll know in a short amount of time the difference it's having on your life. And if you don't find that, of course, you can return it for a refund.
And what's interesting about CoQ10, it's one of the ingredients that I believe we've contributed to making it more affordable because of all of the support we've provided to this ingredient, the education, the information, that it's become a popular ingredient, and as a result, the production of it has become much more affordable, much more economical. We're taking a hard look at actually creating it ourselves, the CoQ10 itself. But when you look at a product like this, that originally this ingredient would have cost, if you were getting a 360 capsule supply back in the mid-1980s, and think about this in 1980s dollars. In 1980s, 360 capsules would have probably cost you $600 or $700, at least $600 or $700.
Crazy.
And that's in 1980s dollars. So it's great to see something so high potency become so affordable.
We are, once again, and it's obviously a joy to do these shows with Andrews. I know we've brought our best values with healthy hair, skin, and nails, the essential one, and now CoEnzyme Q10. Very, very busy. You know, it's that moment where we kind of strike and say, I do need to do this for work, for running around for the kids all day long. I need something to help support my immune system, my energy levels. Maybe not the energy drinks, which seems to be a sign of the times. Everybody's got an energy drink. Maybe this is a healthier, more natural way. On one of the most important supplements one could contemplate taking. I'll read one final review and they get final thoughts from Andrew. In a simple few lines, a supplement to have. I have been taking CoEnzyme Q10 for years. I notice the difference in my energy when I take it. This will always be one of the supplements from Andrew Lessman's Vitamins that I will always buy. And I find that to be a common thread and theme, Andrew. Once people experience your CoEnzyme Q10, they never want to be without it.
And I think it's both. If you look at the science, that's the conclusion you'd reach. And if you simply experience the product, that's the conclusion you reach. Unfortunately, the tools we need in our body to do the work of life, as we age, as my mom often reminds me, aging is not pretty. Aging is difficult. And if we want to age more comfortably, more energetically, more gracefully, then this is, I think, top of the list decision, because energy is behind everything we do in terms of how we go about life, but also behind everything our body does quietly in the background, whether it's our liver's work, our heart's work, our lungs, whatever it might be. Energy is what fuels the work they do, and CoQ10 is the very center of the production of energy in our body.
We are going to wrap up on our CoEnzyme Q10. Thank you for your orders there. In our final 8 minutes, two very important products, calcium, magnesium, and then we're going to talk about vitamin